Welcome all to the PM Tank Podcast 3. Today, my guest for the podcast is Tanay Lakhani, the founder and CEO of Stacks. He ventured back to India from the US and now is solving the problem of rediscovering bookmarks. In our conversation for the first time with the CEO, Tanay shares how he went from ideation to MVP and then to product launch. How did he bootstrap to build Stacks? Advice to first time and young founders, and much more. Before we start, a short intro on Stack.
Stacks, a shared repository to save and access links, articles, and other resources in one shared space. It helps teams collaborate more efficiently, stay organized, and focus on what's important. Finding the information they need when they need it. Stacks is a virtual shared space wherein your teams and partners can share articles, links, tourist destinations, and all other useful stuff for discussions, and it is easily retrievable via apps and Google. Professionals like financial advisors and CAs, product and engineering teams, and many others are using the app to save product research, travel places, and knowledge with their friends, family, and teams. If you are tired of cluttered bookmarks, give Stacks a try. Sign up now to start saving and finding the good stuff today.
So that was Stacks for you. Without any further ado, let's start with the podcast.
Hi,
Hey,
hi there.
hi Kavil.
Everything good? Uh,
Good. How are you?
good. I'm awesome. Thanks, Tanay, for joining.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So, just a little context. If you could please tell us a little bit about what Stacks does and why Stacks. If you could start with
Mhm.
that, that would be great.
Sure. So, Stacks is a search engine for bookmarks, and our goal is to create a repository of knowledge where people can bring all of their knowledge that is hidden and forgotten in bookmarks. So today, if you think of it, like almost every website or app has a bookmarking as a native functionality.
Yes.
So you look at Twitter bookmarks, you look at Instagram saved post, LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
saved post, Amazon wish list, YouTube
Mm-hmm.
playlist. So all of those have some kind of bookmarking functionality
Right.
by default built in the app.
Right.
Now, as a consumer, you have to go through 15 apps, figure out where you saved it.
Right.
You have to scroll through the list of bookmarks that you
Yeah.
have
True.
saved. Most of us don't do it.
True.
Like 90% of the people who save bookmarks
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even open it once.
Yeah.
So it
True.
becomes kind of a junk of
Mm-hmm.
everything that is like visit later kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do is integrate that bookmarks into their normal workflow. So that's why our extension came together as like, okay, whenever you search something on Google, it gives you the recommendations from your knowledge repository,
Got
that
it.
is your bookmarks,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of gives you like a trust and authenticated source that hey, this is what you
Mm-hmm.
liked
Yeah.
and this is you are searching again, so you find it useful again.
Got it, got it. Thanks so much for sharing that. If you could also tell a little about yourself. This is your time to tell us your story, like your journey from the US back to India and then to start a company. How did you go about starting a company and not joining a job? I saw you were also a CTO of a company. So how did that go?
Sure, absolutely. So by education, I am a software engineer,
Okay.
and I did a bunch of different things while I was completing my education. So I had my uh, digital agency 10 years ago.
Okay.
So during my education in computer science, I was also taking freelance projects. I
Right.
was building websites, I was building applications. By the time I completed my graduation, I had 25 clients for whom I built applications and
Right.
websites and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of was always in me that okay, I wanted to build something that
Mm-hmm.
is useful to people.
Right.
Now, when I worked in the US, it was an amazing journey.
Right.
Like the overall experience in the US, it was fabulous in terms of how people interact with each other, how people think about a problem and think about a
Mm-hmm.
solution.
Right.
Over here, we have a lot of jugadu kind of a thing. We piece
Yeah.
together a lot of different
True.
solutions because we are time rich and cash poor.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on the other side of the world, they are time poor and cash rich.
Okay.
So for
Mm-hmm.
them, it is easy enough to throw money at the problem to
Mm-hmm.
find a solution.
Right.
And so it was interesting to build solutions where you don't have to figure out that okay who is going to pay you money,
Right.
but rather figure out that okay whether it gives value to the users, people would pay for it.
Right. I get your approach of you can throw money at it, and a lot of this cash can help you solve a problem. But
Right.
as like I've seen Y Combinator and a lot of combinators saying that if you not every problem is throwing money. It's also about you having no money at all, and then you go and try and find a solution because you might come up with a better solution. Right. So if you could go a little deep into that.
Sure. So one thing that I learned is the same thing. Like so, when I moved from US to India,
Yeah.
I had in my mind that okay, I have a little bit of savings that I did
Right.
from the US, and I would be able to comfortably start my own
Right.
project, work on it for
Mm-hmm.
a couple of months, make it to the public. People would start paying,
Right.
and
Right.
it would be a self-sustaining business at first.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is not everything is solved by money,
Right.
and when you don't have enough money, that's when you become the most creative.
Yeah.
So all the creativity that came
Mm-hmm.
into stacks
Yeah.
happened after we burnt a lot of money
Okay.
before.
Got it.
So when we had like a free hand towards money, it
Right.
was like okay, let's build this feature, let's
Right.
build this feature. So we
Mm-hmm.
focus on the product a
Right.
lot more than focusing on the distribution.
Right.
But when we figured out that okay, this
Mm-hmm.
is not a money problem, but
Right.
rather like a creative solution,
Mm-hmm.
that's when we put a break on how much we are going to burn, how much we are going to spend, and
Correct.
that's when we became very, very stringent on how we are spending money, and
Right.
the creativity started flowing in. So
Right.
over the past 6 months, we have
Mm-hmm.
spent a relatively, I would say, one sixth of the
Okay.
money that we spent before,
Wow.
but we had like good growth. We
Okay.
figured out that okay, who is our
Mm-hmm.
target user, what are they asking
Right.
for us. So that became like the mindset that okay, you
Mm-hmm.
can't just keep on building and throwing money towards it.
Right. Right.
Figure out what works and
Mm-hmm.
double down on those.
Right. So that still stands true. It doesn't mean you have to throw money at it. Think from a very frugal mindset and then come up
Mhm.
with solutions which will actually help users with the user in mind. Did you even ship more features in the months you did not spend burn much?
So, in terms of number of features, it was still limited, like
Okay.
what we shipped. But what we figured out was we started tweaking our small aspects. So we
Okay.
improved our onboarding journey, we
Right.
improved our conversion ratio, we
Mm-hmm.
improved our user experience in a way that okay how people are going to use our app or they are using the app.
Right.
So instead of like thinking that hey let's integrate AI for
Right.
instance, like AI
Mm-hmm.
came in last year, right?
Okay.
It started in December
Yeah.
after like
It,
ChatGPT launched.
it boomed.
So for the first month it was like okay let's do something with AI, let's build something with AI, and it was very difficult for us to put the restraint that hey we don't want to integrate AI just yet, we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to integrate just yet. And so that give us like a good enough perspective that hey hold on, you don't just jump onto the new technology that comes in,
Right.
figure out what people are using it for, how
Right.
they are using it. So
Mm-hmm.
we took like our sweet little time to figure out that okay, what people are using it. People love ChatGPT at
Mm-hmm.
first, but
Right.
then became like okay, this gives a lot of repetitive answer. Then you
Right.
got like ChatGPT 3.5,
Mm-hmm.
4, and so on.
Yeah.
So that definitely improved, but people still had that mindset that okay, ChatGPT is amazing at giving you like a big conversational answer,
Yeah.
but if you want to search some information,
Yeah.
that is still slow because ChatGPT can throw you like 2 pages of answer,
Right.
but you will
Mm-hmm.
still take time to read through those 2 pages
True.
to find value.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
that's where we figured out that okay, we don't want to simply be like put all the knowledge together, let's just AI run through it,
Yeah.
but rather figure out that okay, what makes it useful for people, and
Right.
that's when we started integrating
Right.
AI in our software.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about AI soon. What I would really want to know is, as you're saying we at Stacks, I'd love to know
Mhm.
about Stacks as a company, as a startup. So, what was the ideation stage like? How did you launch your first MVP and then finally launching your product? What did the journey look like? If you could tell us that.
Sure. So I made a lot of mistakes, to be honest. How we approach it as MVP. The idea started with COVID. When COVID hit, a lot of communication went online.
Yeah.
People were sharing about that. Hey, they used this ergonomic chair, they used this ergonomic keyboards and
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
And when I was working at a company in the US, I had about 30 people I was managing,
Mhm.
and they would discuss some of the research and articles because there was no in-person conversations that were happening, so everything was online, and people would talk a lot about what is a good place to visit, just to
Right.
keep that conversations going on.
Mhm.
So that's where the idea came about, that okay, we need a place to document some of those research.
Okay.
We need a place to document the recommendations of people that we
Mhm.
interact with,
Yeah, yeah.
because we couldn't save them in Slack,
Right.
we couldn't save them in our knowledge repository at the
Mhm.
time, we couldn't save them in a spreadsheet because we tried doing that and it failed, because
Mhm.
you put that once but nobody uses it again,
Right.
because
Mhm.
every information that you're putting has some context that
Mhm.
gets lost if it is not captured.
Yeah.
So that's where we started discussing. Like, I spoke with my manager, I spoke with a couple of other managers,
Right. Right.
that hey, will this tool be useful for companies that
Mhm.
use something like, okay, non formal communications
Mhm.
and research oriented information. So
Mhm.
that kind of was a good pilot that we
Right.
ran in just getting the idea
Mhm.
from users.
Right.
Then when we started building the product, we just focus on that, okay, what is the first part, that okay, let's do focus on capturing.
Yeah.
People want to save information, just
Mhm.
build that.
Right. Okay.
We built that, we
Mhm.
launched in October last year.
Awesome.
When it went to the public,
Mhm.
people liked how it was saving,
Yeah.
but there was some issues with performance and everything.
How,
We didn't tune this
could
up.
you describe a bit how did you do it before? How the first one looked like? Could you please describe that?
Sure. So first month, we focused on that. Okay, let's get some designers involved.
Mhm.
So we worked with a couple of designers that hey, this is the idea. We want to capture a lot of this information.
Mhm.
What it will look like.
Mhm.
They gave us bunch of different designs. We also created like a landing page for people to sign
Mhm.
up and so on. So we started promoting our product on LinkedIn.
Right.
We
Right.
got about 500 signups on our LinkedIn
Mhm.
page, through
Right.
LinkedIn page and our
Right.
website. What we focus on then is build something quickly that we can give it to the users.
Right.
So for us, it was important to build it as a Chrome extension rather than
Mhm.
a web app or mobile app and stuff,
Mhm.
because most of the work communication still happens on your desktop, not on
Right.
your phone.
True.
And that's where we were focusing that okay, let's
Mhm.
build something as an extension.
Right, right, true. So the first Stacks 1.0 is a Chrome extension with a dashboard where you can save links. That's
Right,
the basic part of it. So
right.
you didn't connect with the Chrome's API, or did you go all in for the website alone? So did you connect with the Chrome's bookmark API, or did you just
No, so that came in much, much later on.
okay?
Our first
Hmm.
intention that okay, people would just start saving and discussing when they are in the group and so on. When
Right, right,
people
right,
would basically want to share the link with someone else in the team,
right,
how
right.
would they do?
Okay,
So we just did that. That okay, let's build a
hmm.
Chrome extension that allows them to save URLs and
Right,
links.
right, right.
What we realized
Hmm.
was people would save our own website as a first link
Okay,
always,
okay.
because they would try our extension.
Hmm.
They are on our page and
Yeah,
that's what they will. So
okay,
our website link was saved like a lot of times in the
okay.
initial days.
Hmm.
Then we figured out that people would try with couple of different like google.com and all the other links that is
Right.
very handy,
Uh-huh.
and then they won't save anything else,
Mm-hmm. They will stop saving.
because what they're looking for is they already have some information saved somewhere,
Right,
and they when they want to save in stacks, it is a totally different workflow.
right.
They have to open our dashboard or they have
Mm-hmm.
to click on the extension, then they have to like save, and to look up that information again, go in the dashboard.
Right,
So as soon as we started our extension giving it to the users, people quickly said that hey, I can start using it,
right, right.
but I won't keep using it,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
because there was no motivation
So
for them to do it.
there was intention
Yeah.
very soon. Okay. So then how did you face that? How did you guys went through
So
that?
in the first version, when we collected feedback, so we started with about 10 different companies in
Mm-hmm.
India, where we gave them the product for free and we
Right,
got them on that hey, start using, see how it works in the team setting and so on.
right.
They came back with us that hey, First of all, it is not performant. It is
Okay.
taking a lot of time to save information.
Mm-hmm.
Second is when I save the information, how do I go back to it? If I open the new website every time,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of time for me. Like if you look at native bookmarks in the browser,
Right, right.
it is just there. It is
Right.
always there.
Mm-hmm. True.
So people wanted something more that okay, I don't want to open the new website and so on. So we took that feedback, we took all the different feedback that hey, how they were using analytical data and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went back and redid the entire extension.
Right.
We got the user experience designer involved. We
Mm-hmm.
got them to build like okay, what is the workflow should look like
Right.
once you save a link,
Mm-hmm.
whether they want to give a tag or whether they want to save notes,
Right.
reminders and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we threw a lot of features in
Right.
that okay
Mm-hmm.
what they would use, and when we were talking to the users, our user interviews were also already going on.
Okay.
So whatever features that were coming in, we were started to kind of bake in the product.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Whatever feature
What
request
happened?
came in.
Right.
Yeah,
A
okay.
lot of feature requests came in.
Mm-hmm.
Our user interviews gave us so much perspective,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
uh, but it was all in a different direction.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
One person was heavy user of articles, and other person would be like heavy on YouTube.
Okay. So it's
How would you merge those two?
different personas.
Different personas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we throwing in lot of features in the product that hey, it should automatically categorize this, it should
Right.
automatically do this, capture this information,
Mm-hmm.
this context,
Got
and
it.
so on.
Got it.
And the tricky part became is
Mm-hmm.
how to communicate that value and the feature
Right.
to the
Mm-hmm.
user in the simplest form.
Got it.
Because even when people were coming to our website, they
Mm-hmm.
would scroll to three-fourths of the website
Right.
but wouldn't understand what exactly it does. They
Okay.
would all
Mm-hmm.
just associate with okay, it's a bookmark
Book
manager,
manager.
and some people would say like okay, let me try, but
Mm-hmm.
most other would be like okay, I don't need a bookmark manager, I would
Right.
go away.
Yeah. True. Mm-hmm.
So they would associate our product with bookmark manager as first,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where we wanted to be the search of bookmarks
Yeah.
rather than just a manager.
Right. And also
So
knowledge sharing,
right.
collaboration. Mm-hmm.
So that was the good insight that gave us that okay, how do we transition from management to the search first company?
Got it. Understood. Does it also get synced with the bookmarks, Chrome bookmarks, or no?
So today it does.
Sure, it does. Okay. So I can integrate a folder and then add bookmarks in it and it will get synced with it. Okay.
Correct.
Awesome, awesome. That's something which I was looking for since a long time.
Mhm.
So, reflecting on your journey in building stacks, like if you could share how it's bootstrap, right? Stacks is
Yes.
bootstrap.
Yeah.
So, if you could share that, what amount was required for to launch Stack and then run it for like 1.5 years? What was the
Sure.
fund required?
Sure. So initially, when I started working on stacks, I had put a cap that okay, I want to only spend about $10,000.
No. Mm-hmm.
It reached to $10,000. We launched our first
Right.
MVP,
Mm-hmm.
went in the market,
Right.
and then realized that okay, this is not the product that people want.
Right.
We need to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, created a plan that okay, how do we sponsor the next plan,
Right.
what is the amount that will require,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. So over time we started implementing a lot of different features which costed a bunch of the money.
Right.
We also built an app that we thought about that hey,
Mm-hmm.
as a bookmark and kind of a source of knowledge,
Yeah.
people want to use it on the go. We
Mm-hmm.
need a mobile app.
Yeah.
We
Mm-hmm.
created mobile app.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
during this phase, where going from MVP to MVP, like second pilot,
Right.
it took us a lot of time because we started to build a lot of features, mobile app. So
Mm-hmm.
we had extension, we have web dashboard, we
Right.
have mobile apps.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of assets to invest in.
Right.
Lot of assets, lot of design cost, lot of
Mm-hmm.
building cost, and
Right.
so on.
And main
So
expenditure was on developers?
right,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
design and development both. So that
Mm-hmm.
was our biggest cost that happened
Right.
over the last 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
where we were just burning cash, building
Right.
features,
Mm-hmm.
putting in the applications, and so on. Then, when it came about a realization that okay, whatever features that we build, if we are
Right.
not able to communicate to the users,
Mm-hmm.
it won't work.
Yeah, true.
So that's when we put the brakes that hey,
Mm-hmm.
we will only spend money
Mm-hmm.
after thoroughly deciding that okay, what is the roadmap that we want to build,
Right.
how we can communicate effectively to our users.
Mm-hmm.
If they like the feature, then
Right.
only we'll build.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
So this is like an example I will give you is
Mm-hmm.
we had a collection feature in dashboard
Right.
and we gave them a share button.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
There was no functionality built in.
Okay. Sure.
It was just a share button that was
Mm.
there.
Okay.
People would click it, nothing will happen.
Okay.
And people started giving us feedback that, hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
not working. This is
Okay.
not working. I need
Right. Right.
this feature.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we do is whenever someone would reach out to us that, hey, this is not working,
Right.
we would talk to them, we would
Mm-hmm.
get on a call with them,
Right. Right.
we would learn what exact features they are looking for.
Okay. That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
that helped us figure out that hey,
Mm.
this is the feature people would really use
Right.
if we build it this way
Right.
rather than
Yeah.
just coming from our imagination that okay,
Yeah.
let's build it this.
Yeah.
So that was the insight that okay, you try something,
Mm-hmm.
give it in front of the user.
Yeah.
If they come back with feedback that hey, this doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work or this
Yeah.
doesn't work as you would expect,
Mm-hmm.
then you learn how to build it.
Right. I mean, that makes so much more sense than emailing all your customers and asking them, we're coming up with a new feature. Have a look.
We tried doing that. We also
Mm-hmm.
emailed like all of the subscribers like at least
Yeah.
3 times so far that
Mm-hmm.
hey, do you have any feedback for us? Do you
Yeah.
have any suggestions for us?
Right. Right.
And 90% of them would not get back to
Right.
us with a
Mm-hmm.
single feedback.
Got it.
Because
This is,
if you ask someone blanket question,
yeah.
you don't have an answer.
Uh, this is a short, sweet hack to get them, actual users, to get interact with them. First of all, get in touch with them, get their feedback, and see what they want just by this small hack. It's very, very cool. So, how did that go after you within the user interview? Did they actually tell you the whole workflow of what they require, and then you implemented it?
Yeah, so we spoke with a couple of users who complained to us that hey, this is not
Mm.
working, and they would basically say that hey, I want something that I can share with my team
Yeah.
in a collection format rather than
Mm-hmm.
just links.
Yeah.
Then we work towards that. Okay, what should be the ideal flow? Should look like? How should it
Mm-hmm.
work? Another user said that hey, we need to share certain links with public
Right.
because those are like client facing that we can easily
Mm-hmm.
give it to them and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So after coming those like inputs, we combine them into creating like a public portal
Okay.
where every user can create the public profile with
Mm-hmm.
publicly visible collections,
Right.
and at the same time people can also share within their communities and repositories of people.
Got it. Got it. So they don't need to have the Chrome extension. They just need to have the login of Stacks.
Right.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Good. I would like to talk about product market fit. So, do you believe Stacks has reached product market fit, or what milestones does it have to pass to get there?
So with the product market fit, there are like a very different definitions for different companies.
Right.
One thing that I read on LinkedIn is if you reach 1 million ARR,
Mm-hmm.
it's a product market fit
Okay.
at that point.
Mm-hmm.
If you reach X number of users, it's product market fit. If
Right.
you are growing 20% month over month
Mm.
without any marketing, then
Okay.
you are at product market fit.
Mm-hmm.
So Stacks is not at that point yet.
Right.
We currently have about 10% month on month growth
Mm-hmm.
effectively because if people come to our pages,
Right.
they learn about the product, then they sign up and then they're using it.
Right.
But people are not searching for our product by default or finding our product through other people that they're talking about.
Right.
So with a better reward system that we are
Mm-hmm.
working towards right now,
Mm-hmm.
we believe that people would start building some things for other people in their communities,
Right.
and then we'll find a way that okay, people are directly coming to our pages, they're
Mm-hmm.
signing up and so on.
So more of a shareability concept, which Stacks does, knowledge sharing as well.
Right. So
Mm.
I would say we are at a validation phase
Right.
where we do have a certain number of users, we do have certain amount of revenue,
Right.
we also have MRR,
Mm-hmm.
but we would like them to be like on a growing trajectory month
Right.
over month, at
Mm-hmm.
least 20%.
Okay. Are you comfortable sharing those numbers, or that's for Stacks?
So just to put that in perspective, we have about 300 paid customers.
Okay.
We
Mm-hmm.
have about 10% of those are month-on-month subscribers,
Nice, nice. Good.
and then we have more than 3,000 users who are using our
Mm.
product at.
Okay. Lovely, lovely. So let's talk about AI now. So
Mhm.
AI in Stacks, how is AI built in the backend? So let's say I work in AI product management, and AI doesn't have one route, like from this to this. There are a lot of dependencies that goes with AI because it depends on the user, on the data they have, and there's so many things. So while building AI features for Stack, what did you do in the engineering backend that makes sure about data privacy and then getting uh, good results for users, but that's most important. Increasing the accuracy of the search, etc., etc. I saw on your landing page you have AI-powered recommendation engine as a in
Yeah.
stacks. Yeah. So what is that actually, and how do you build it?
Sure. So that was the first phase that we went live with. So what we do is when a link is saved in stacks, we collect some of the public available information like title, description, which domain it is coming from, and so on. We extract the tags, associate them with the link that hey, this link is coming from this website, so
Mm-hmm.
this is probably a product or a place or article and so on.
Right.
If the link has certain title or description has certain tags,
Mm-hmm.
we apply them to the links that hey, this is what a link should be. If it is like programming related, then it
Right.
falls under technology and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So what we try to do is establish some taxonomy around those tags,
Right.
and then when people are looking for information, we match them through AI
Got it.
algorithm that hey, whether this falls under this category and so on.
Got it.
So it was very first primitive feature that we built, and this was pre Chat GPT and all the AI
Right.
models that are out there.
Got it.
So it had like a lot of different models that came together in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
machine learning,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then that's where it is. What we started building after we understood ChatGPT better and AI
Mm-hmm.
better is
Mm-hmm.
what is the data about. So the link that you're saving,
Right.
what content does it have?
Mm-hmm.
We start to gather a little bit more information about content. Of course, it is opt-in, so people
Right.
don't feel scared that hey,
Yeah.
everything is visible to
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
We ask people that if you opt into the AI recommendations,
Right.
then you are giving us the permission to read some of the content, and we
Got it.
identify those.
Right.
So one of the features that we are building right now is
Mm-hmm.
all the links that you are saving
Mm-hmm.
is now you can interact with in real time.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
when we collect the data,
Mm-hmm.
we create a kind of namespaced embedding for you.
Mm-hmm.
The embeddings are stored in the vector database,
Got it.
and
Mm-hmm.
when you're asking a question,
Mm-hmm.
we do something called retrieve augmented generation.
Right. Got it. Mm-hmm.
So we pick up only the context that you have access to. So
Got it.
any of the
Mm-hmm.
other members of the stacks
Right.
don't see any of the
Right.
content that
Right.
is all anyways there.
Mm-hmm.
So that ensures that the data that you're saving in stacks only belongs to the people that you're given permission to.
Right. Right. So it's very customized and on their own knowledge base, right?
Right.
And plus, when they search, they can see what the AI can tell you to recommend, right? As well as Google search, they can see what is
Yeah.
going on. Got it, got it. Is there also improvement in that? Can they give feedback to it and then can it learn better and better? Is that thing also there?
Yes, so we have like a feedback system that
Mm-hmm.
in place. So whenever you click on a link from the recommendation,
Mm-hmm.
we identify that okay, which kind of links that you're more interested in.
Got it.
Right now, we have like the most interaction that is happening on the Google search,
Right.
but we also have like search across multiple of websites.
Okay.
So for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you're searching on YouTube,
Yeah.
if you're searching on Facebook or Instagram and so on,
Right.
almost all of those websites is supported by stacks,
Okay.
so you will get recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are going next is we want to identify that hey, you are searching on YouTube,
Yeah.
then we give you more relatable content from YouTube itself.
Okay. Got it.
Or
Mm-hmm.
if you're searching on Amazon,
Right.
we
Right.
want to identify what products on Amazon that
Mm-hmm.
you're more interested in
Right.
and give
Right.
you those in recommendations.
Got it, got it. That's I was seeing a podcast in which he says AI will do really good in search. That's what AI is going towards. And
Right.
customized search with stacks actually makes it. a lot better. And I think that disclaimer which you said, that opt-in, if you want, then you opt-in. The disclaimer which every AI has nowadays, and it's very important because we are playing with data here.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the final questions I have is for someone, a young person or a new first-time founder who wants to create a SaaS startup, what recommendations you have uh, after you went through the journey of actually creating a SaaS and launching it? What would you recommend do if they're struggling to go from idea to implementation?
I would. So there is a famous saying that
Yeah.
first time founder focuses on product,
Right.
which I did,
Mm-hmm.
and the second time founder focuses on distribution.
Okay. Yeah.
I would recommend anyone who is looking at this podcast to
Mm-hmm.
start validating the idea way before you build anything,
Okay.
way
Mm-hmm.
before you write even one line of code.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is a couple of tweets that you're putting out. If you're active on Instagram, create a
Mm-hmm.
reel. If
Right.
you're on YouTube, create shorts.
Right.
Put in the market,
Mm-hmm.
see how people engage with the content or the messaging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment you build your website or landing page,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to have compelling messaging. And how
Right.
would you find it? Is
Mm-hmm.
by getting feedback from people.
True, true. So validate your idea by distribution and get a distribution in place. How did you do that for stacks? Like,
So this is where as I mentioned, like first time founder
yes,
always focuses on product.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I did that. We did
Mm-hmm.
have like a messaging about that. Okay, bookmark system, save the
Mm-hmm.
links and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But as we said that we were associated with bookmark management
Right.
from
Mm-hmm.
every angle because we
Okay.
didn't got our messaging right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when the search engine for bookmarks came about that hey,
Right.
this is the messaging that people are resonating because search
Mm-hmm.
engine itself
Yeah.
defines that okay, you are searching something.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
with bookmarks, they know that it is your personal search engine.
Mm-hmm.
So with that messaging worked very well for us
Okay.
since like July of last year.
Right.
And now that we are moving more towards knowledge marketplace and
Right.
advanced search and so on, I
Mm-hmm.
think the getting the messaging right is very
Right.
critical.
So get the message and get why a product exists and what problem it solves, and then market it accordingly. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Got it, got it. Awesome. We have a rapid fire now with 7 questions.
Mhm.
So buckle
Okay.
up. Yeah. Do you have a
Sure.
ChatGPT Plus subscription?
Yes.
ChatGPT or Google Bard?
ChatGPT.
What's your favorite Chrome extension?
Stacks.
What's your favorite Chrome extension besides Stacks?
I would say LastPass.
LastPass. Your favorite digital product?
Uh, Favorite digital product. I would say Todoist.
Kudos. Your favorite AI feature or product?
AI feature or product. I would say content generation by ChatGPT
ChatGPT. Okay.
for a specific SEO related articles.
Awesome. Who do you look up to?
There are like a lot of YouTubers who have done really well.
Hmm.
Tanmay Bhatt,
Yeah.
then Zerodha's founder Nikhil
Yeah.
Kamath, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So all of those are like people that I look up to.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Tanmay. Tanay, you are truly solving a pressing problem for unorganized bookmarks. I'm sure many product people can learn from this podcast of how you went from ideation to product. Two final questions. Where can the
Mhm.
audience reach out to you if they have any follow-up questions? And how can listeners be helpful to you?
Sure. People can reach out to me at my email, tanay at betterstacks.com.
Mhm.
And I'm always available on emails. So if feel free to email me.
Mhm.
If you're listening to this podcast, I would highly suggest if you save anything online,
Mhm.
check out Stacks.
Yeah,
It would help you find things that you have forgotten about in your bookmarks and knowledge. Moving forward, start thinking about AI much more,
yeah.
what it would help you
Mhm.
rather than getting feared by it. A lot of
Yeah.
people are scared of AI,
Sure.
but I think AI is going to revolutionize what we think of AI.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And stop the
Absolutely.
recording.
Thanks, Haril.